There are only 0.26 percentage of women in Indian Defence Forces. That means out of 10,000 people, there are only 26 women.
पूरी दुनिया ने भारत में महिला सशक्तिकरण और नारी शक्ति की एक वानगी देखी।
Hi friends, let's discuss about condition of women in Indian Defence Forces. Recently, there were two landmark judgments given by Supreme Court in favor of women officers. The first decision was that women can take up commanding officers role. The second decision was that women will now be considered for permanent commission for 8 new streams. Under the short service scheme, women officers were initially taken for 5 years, which was extendable up till 14 years. Now, after permanent commission, they can serve until retirement. In an exceptional move, Narendra Modi government granted permanent commission to women in 8 new streams. The 8 new streams are Corps of Signals, Engineers, Army Aviation, Army Air Defense, Electronics and Mechanical Engineers, Army Service Corps, Army Ordnance Corps, and Intelligence Corps. At present, Army offers permanent commission in 2 streams since 2008. They are JAG, Judge Advocate General, which is a legal branch of Army, and Army Education Corps. Even after 28 years, only 0.26% of women are in defense services. That is, out of 10,000 people, only 26 are women. The journey to achieve these two milestones, that is permanent commission and commanding officer roles for women, was extremely difficult, and there was a lot of opposition. Women officers had to fight court cases for decades. Our mythology is full of instances of women as warriors such as Durga or Shakti. Even if you go down the history, we have Lakshmi Bai or Rajya Sultana. But if you look at the ground level, the situation is entirely different. There's a lot of hypocrisy, and it was very difficult to achieve these milestones. As we know, there was a lot of opposition from the government side. Let's understand what were the objections raised by the government. From the government side, Solicitor General Mr. Tushar Mehta raised the following objections. The first objection was that Jawans came from rural background, and it was very difficult for them to follow orders of a women officer. This was a baseless argument based on a patriarchal mindset. The second argument was that women could not match up to men in physical prowess, but physical power is not required in streams like signals, intelligence, ordnance, or aviation. The third objection was regarding physiological challenge to women officers with regards to prolonged absence due to pregnancy, their children's education, their husband careers, etc., which would pose additional challenges to the women. So everybody understands that there are challenges in the job. So let's leave it on the women to decide for themselves. The fourth objection was regarding prisoner of war, and it would be very difficult for country and state to handle it diplomatically. The fifth objection was the most illogical one. It said that the army unit wore a unique male environment, and the induction of women officers will disturb the entire environment. Obviously, the units needs to change and adapt with time. Supreme Court rubbished almost all the arguments and said that these are based on sexual stereotypes.
This is one service that instills a sense of pride. It allows us to serve our motherland with pride, and this is one thing that I would take up any day over any other subject or any other service.
A similar position was faced when women were inducted in police forces, but now we see that women are intrinsic part of police forces, and their contribution is well known in the situations of riots, crime against women, roadblocks, house raids, etc. So important point here is that no decision should be taken which should reduce the efficiency of the forces. So it should not only be politically correct, but also be functionally correct. Let's understand the history of inducting women in defense forces. In 1988, Indian Military Nursing Services was formed in British Raj. From 1914 to 1945, nurses participated in World War I and World War II. Around 350 nurses lost their lives or were taken as prisoners of war. In 1992, induction of women happened in Army. Before this, it was only in medical stream for doctors and nurses in Army Medical Corps and Military Nursing Services. The women officers were commissioned for 5 years in WSES Women's Special Entry Scheme, which was parallel to SSC short service commissions for their male counterparts. In 2006, the WSCS Women's Special Interest Scheme was replaced with SSC Short Service Commission, and the commissioning time was increased from 5 years to 10 years, which was extendable up to 14 years. In 2008, Permanent Commission was granted to two streams, JAG, Judge Advocate General, which is a legal branch of Army, and Army Education Corps. In 2018, Prime Minister Modi announced that women in non-combat roles will be granted Permanent Commission. In 2019, Permanent Commission was granted to rest of the all streams for women officers. In 2020, women could also take up commanding roles in the non-combat streams. Even after their induction in 1992 and 28 years later, let's look at the number of women in defense forces. There are about 3.8% of women in Army. There are 6.7% of women in Navy and 13.2% of women in Indian Air Force. There are only 4,048 women in Army, Navy and Air Force. Now, if we compare that with officers and other ranks, it comes out to be 0.26%. So that means in 10,000 people, there are only 26 women.
देश में पहली बार महिला सशस्त्र बल का दस्ता जब गणतंत्र दिवस की परेड में शामिल हुआ तो पूरी दुनिया ने भारत में महिला सशक्तिकरण और नारी शक्ति की एक बानगी देखी। आज दुनिया की सबसे ताकतवर और प्रतिष्ठित सेना में शुमार भारतीय सेना में महिलाओं की भागीदारी किसी उपलब्धि से कम नहीं। ये गौरव की बात तो है ही, शक्ति और सौम्यता का अनूठा संगम भी।
So we hope that after granting the Permanent Commission and the commanding roles, the contribution of Indian women in defense forces will rise significantly. Thank you so much, friends. I'm Dr. Vinod Singh signing off. Goodbye.